So this is the piece that you're going to need to plug in. It has a new blue CAN bus port plug, and we're going to plug it in. Okay, we don't want you touching anything on here because these DIN pins and the wire location are critical to making it function. So please leave those alone. So even if your charger is flashing red and green, we want you to plug it in prior to doing the computer reset, because it needs to have some kind of charge in the battery. And believe it or not, even though it's going on and off red and green, it is putting a little bit of charge in it because your battery has to have some kind of power in it in order for it to be reprogrammed.
Alright, so the first step is the seat removal. All you're going to do is simply reach down, look for the little tab, you're going to press it and push up. And that's going to lift your seat right off of the ATV. So the next thing, you want to make sure your connector, your power is plugged in, and your fuse, which is this orange box, plugged in. Next, you're going to unplug this blue one. You're going to unplug that off the battery. So next, you're going to take your control box, this little red box, and it's going to have your own blue plug-in. You're going to take this blue plug-in and you're going to plug it into the spot where your old blue plug was. This is your old one, the factory one. This is the box. You want to make sure that there's not a ton of strain on these wires. You can kind of just set it to the side here and leave it. That way it doesn't tug on these wires and pull them out of the spot where it's supposed to be in.
So what you're going to want to do is you're going to come down to the bottom where it says Power Automate. It's a little icon on the bottom. Click on that. It may take a minute to load. It'll sign you into our account. And then you go over to the top left corner where it says My Flows. You click on that. And it will bring you into this menu. And what you want to do is you want to hover over the one that says BMS Fixer, New E. You press Run, little play button. Now it says at the bottom that it is running, and you do not have to do anything. We highly recommend that you do not touch a single thing, and it will all automatically run for you, and everything will finish on its own.
This process can take up to 10 minutes.
If you encounter this error, it just means that something went out of order. Nothing is particularly wrong. All you have to do is click Run again on the same exact program that you chose before. This is the most important part of the software. This is how we are updating the firmware, and it will tell you once it's beginning, and the green bar indicates how far the firmware is on the completion. It will tell you as soon as it's done right here that the update is succeeded. That is the most important part of this program, to make sure it does say that while it's going through its process. If you see CAN data error, please check wire. That means that the battery does not have enough power to perform the activities and the firmware update, and you need to charge it. If you need to restart the program because the process has failed, what you need to do is close out of all the programs and make sure that there's nothing running down here at the bottom that was previously opened in the last iteration. And then you go back to the Power Automate at the bottom and hit Run the same way you did before. When the process is done, it will say that the Flow BMS Fixer New E has been completed successfully. You want to make sure that it says successfully, otherwise the process has been interrupted at some point and needs to be run again.